Hi guys, welcome to the show today. This is still Juliet. Today we have a very special guest in our midst. Her name is Amaka Okocha. She is a serial entrepreneur, but I'll leave her to introduce her businesses to us. Hey Amaka, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you today because I know you do a lot of things and you are MD to so many companies. You founded a lot of companies. Please, can you introduce your businesses to us?
Before I move on, I have to tell you actually what made me to want to run something on my own.
Yeah.
It didn't just start overnight. I will start with when I was back home in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I was managing a fashion business.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people, like I ran into someone that said, "You made my wedding dress." And I said, that would be a long time ago. And that was Stitches Bridal.
Yeah.
So, and then I was into interior design. People have their buildings completed, then I would go and decorate the house. Until when I came to Canada, you know the way it is when you come here,
Yeah,
the challenge is
exactly.
trying to fit into the system. And living in a community then in Athabasca is just about an hour, 30 or 40 minutes away from central Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
And coming into a community that we were the only black then.
Wow.
So the challenge was so high, the discrimination is obvious, which
Yeah.
I didn't see. I saw it as something that built me to settling into this system.
Mm-hmm.
So I did something that everybody would do, go to this grocery store, pick a job. Then ended up at Athabasca University, worked there for 3 years, 8 months. From there moved to Fort McMurray to work with Sunco Energy, spent 9 years with Sunco Energy and doing working as a document management system analyst, creating workflow processes that I will come to later
Yeah.
in the course of our discussion. So at a period, I asked myself, how long is it going to be that I will be doing this? And considering I have kids, then my kids was pretty much very young,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to take an MBA.
Okay.
Because I did not have a foundation, I was originally an art student. I studied
Oh.
philosophy at the University of Lagos.
Okay.
I needed something that would give me the leverage to enjoy my management course, and I took postgraduate diploma in management. No, before that, I took a kind of a short course in management to see if it's kind of what I would like to swim.
Yeah.
So, and I did. It was an interesting course, just like few weeks program, a refresher program or something you call like a foundational program.
Yeah.
And I did that. I noticed
You love
management
it.
is something I would like to
Yeah.
do, and I eventually took postgraduate diploma. Athabasca University then will not take it direct if you don't have a management foundation, so I have to take that postgraduate diploma. Part of the pilot program, that's another story of determination, how I got in there, because being the only black in the community and being the only black working in the office,
Yeah.
it got to the extent that my boss needed to approve me going for MBA. She did not approve me.
Because you're black.
And that's the only way I see it. People might not see it that way,
Yeah.
but she was obvious, because when you go to Athabasca University website, for references, there was an instruction. Make sure you have a discussion with the applicant before you submit. Share whatever you're submitting to us with the applicant. She never did. If I got to work, she'd already sent it. And because she sent it, I was copied.
Oh.
And when I saw it, all she wrote was, "Oh, she's just a new immigrant. She has 4 kids. She has a lot in her pocket. She needs to get used. I don't think she can do a postgraduate diploma." And that kind of a challenging stand for me.
Yeah.
And I said, one day, you're going to show me where to sit when I get my MBA. I didn't know the God that made me to use that word. But I was so determined that, because the office I worked at then, Learning Services Tutorial, we were collaborating with the convocation department. So we know the students, we admit students, we assign tutors to students, and we know the students that are qualified for convocation, and we know the students that are going to walk up the stage for graduation. I know one day she's going to show me. So because of that, I decided to start something new. I started to change my life.
Okay.
And I told myself, nobody will talk to me in that manner in future. And I'm going to be a managing director. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, you created this business. How come you're not the CEO?"
The CEO,
I met God to be the CEO.
Right.
I'm not the CEO. I'm only managing what He gave me the opportunity to handle.
Yeah.
And that was when I came up with Platinum Plus Consultant Limited. So what do we do?
Yeah, what do you do then?
In Platinum Plus Consultant Limited. I didn't stop there. I want to change the face of leadership.
Okay.
Working at Suncore Energy also taught me that if you don't have the gut, you won't get up there. You have to be determined to succeed.
Yeah.
I can imagine coming from, there is no Nigerian, there is nobody from Africa, from the third world country that come to this country uneducated.
Yeah.
At that time, I was reporting to someone with grade 12 diploma.
Yeah, most times that's how it is.
My boss was reporting to another person with postgraduate grade 12 diploma, and most of the time in the discussion I say a word and they say, what does that mean, break it? What does that mean, break it? And I saw a leadership that is not the best, especially for immigrants.
Yeah.
The moment you get in here and you work in that kind of environment, you just, obvious, it's toxic, why am I here? So I look at it, I'm going to take something in my MBA. And remember, I was taking a postgraduate diploma.
Yeah.
I want to end, I was so determined to end it to MBA level, so that I take a specialization in leadership.
Yeah.
And that was how I started.
You founded the company.
Yeah.
So when did you found the company? Which year?
I founded it actually before starting my MBA, 2010.
Oh wow, that's over 13 years now?
Yeah,
wow.
I founded it in 2010, and each time I will be writing, what do I want this company to be like? You know, I tell people, when you want to set up business, don't be in a hurry. There are steps you need to take. I took those steps. You can see how far I've been in this journey.
Yeah.
Each time I go to I have a whiteboard. I go to my whiteboard, I look at it, I said, what is my 10-year goal?
Yeah.
What is my 5-year goal? So each year I said, okay, I give myself a report. Based on smart analysis, I said, okay, I can see I'm specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, and it's realistic.
Yeah.
Realistic, and it's also, I have a time bound,
Yeah.
5-10 years. So then, when I finished my postgraduate diploma, we decided to take the MBA. I took the leap of faith.
Oh.
Most people, when they finish the postgraduate diploma, after the exam, comprehensive exam, they give up. It's so stressful. 6,000 words, 6 days, and 6 courses. So I see a lot of people pass out. Nobody want to continue, but no, I really want to get to the end of it. If that's the language, I was so determined.
Yeah.
So eventually, I went back to school to do my MBA, and I chose strategic leadership, operations and human resources.
Oh, okay.
So then that
That's
gave
yes.
Now you know, you kind of, when you are doing a lot of puzzle, you said, look at the dotted line, they are beginning to make sense. They're beginning to make sense. I said, okay, strategic leadership. What am I going to do? Then I look at the relationship with myself and my previous boss.
Okay.
There is no relationship, and that's when I said people should look at emotional leadership. Not just coming to work. People work, you pay them, they go. Yeah. You should be able to say, oh, today is your husband's birthday. How are you people celebrating it? Where are you going to? And you should feel free to let your team members know, I'm going on a vacation. And when you are coming back, they are so excited to know, oh, she's going to get me this, she's going to get me that. Not the kind of fun that you're going to go on vacation. He said, I don't want them to know I'm going on vacation. I just want to sneak out of this place and come back to work.
So you're sure they're doing their job?
Yeah. I go back to finish my MBA. I'm going into MBA. We're given the option, because that same year we're the pilot, they call it the pilot cohort team, to be able to choose what you want. And that was the year they changed it to executive MBA. And I took strategic leadership, operations and human resources. And that gave me opportunity. I was mentored by the great. That's one beautiful thing with Athabasca University MBA program, because you will be mentored by the real people on the field. Yeah. They will teach you everything you need to know about what you are doing. And after that, I had opportunity to go to, because of operations management, supply chain indeed, I had opportunity to go to Toyota Kitchen Ontario, to the in-residence there. Yeah. That's just a week program. It kind of built me, and at the end of the day, I knew one day I was going to end the 9 to 5 job. Oh, nice. They have the potentials to become leaders, but nothing is being done to them. And some of them are those that felt they are stagnant at their workplaces. So I'm going to talk about it in 2 phases. One, the ones that felt they want to accelerate, if I'm going to borrow that word, they go to the C-suite they call the chief executive suite.
Yeah.
I call it C-suite. They want to get to the C-suite. So what we do is that we look at what the potentials they have in them, train them. So we train leaders. And most organizations, like the ones I have currently, training oil and gas executives in Nigeria. So we look at the executives and they said, okay, we've gotten to this level, but we're not doing very well. What can we do to improve whatever we have in the system? So I train leaders, not just training leaders, I train those that aspire to become leaders.
Okay, so the training is not just in Canada, you go all over the world.
I travel as a matter of fact anywhere. Once I have few organizations I signed contract with, so they get the contract, they outsource the training to me, and I travel to train them because they don't have it. It's just about having a symbiotic relationship with every other organization. Oh, you have what I need, or I don't have it, but outsource it to you. So we travel, we train them. And there is something we have coming up, looking at our youth. Because if you notice, if we have good leadership in our youth, it's really going to help our 10 years. Like I'm looking at a 10-year focus. What is going to be the lives of our youth in the next 10 years? So I have a program coming up, the leader in me. Try to put that life of leadership in every young child. So we are looking from age 10 to age 19.
Oh, this is catch them young.
Yeah. So, and we started, I used my children as a guinea pig.
Okay.
So, and it kind of been working for us. And notwithstanding, I don't call myself, I used to be, say, it's a motivational speaker. I don't call myself a motivational speaker. I call myself an influential speaker. And I believe that if I meet you and I have a chat with you, I should be able to convince you of something to change your life. So I travel a lot. I speak in events, keynote speaker. And that's more like it. Notwithstanding, training is our core thing, and we're looking at having an institute.
Yeah, and on your website, I saw that you also train, startups, young entrepreneurs, starting businesses.
Yes, we do that. And why do we do that? Because one thing again, if you don't have that skill as a leader, you don't have it. No matter how much you pop into business, I'm going to give you an instance. I had a client that spent almost $60,000 in his business. And you're supposed to have return on investment on that amount of money. As I speak with you, he has nothing.
Yeah.
So the question when he came to me, I said, okay, what did you do with the money? I said, you had a very wrong foundation. So what we do, you come, you tell us what you have, we help you to start to build a business. I don't really encourage people to pump in a lot of money into business. We take it chunk by chunk.
Yeah, slowly.
Let's see, how much are you putting in? How much are you getting in? How many hours are you ready to dedicate to this business to make it succeed? One is to say, oh, I want to set up a business, but it comes with price, commitment, time. You're going to sacrifice a lot of things, especially your social life. You don't want to build business when you want to jump at every event. You go there to network. But I tell people, if that networking is not going to add plus to your business, sit down and put flesh in your business.
That's a good one. Okay, so moving on to Asa Castle. What motivated you to open Asa Castle?
Back home in Nigeria, I was good at picking people's property, redefining it. So it started on the other side. I'm a fashion designer.
Yeah.
I make my outfits. I started sewing duvet.
Yeah, you mentioned you had a business in Nigeria before moving to Canada.
Yeah.
Do you still run the business in Nigeria?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't, because I moved it. It's now Beauty Royal in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Under Platinum Plus.
So you sew African fabrics and...
I sew African fabrics. I sew lights. Like the cotton, fabric cottons.
Oh, okay.
I do throw pillows.
Oh.
So because I needed to do something that, looking at the world of business, especially in terms of fashion, if you want to sew actually the garment to wear here, like a custom made, is expensive.
Yeah.
But the question is, who are your competitors?
Yeah.
China is your competition. How do you break even? Dollar to dollar. So I realized, no, it's not going to work. So I settled down to build throw pillows. Like I'm trying to Africanize, if I'm going to borrow that word, to my interiors.
And the throw pillow aligns with Asa Castle.
Yes, aligns with Asa Castle. So Asa Castle is actually an interior designing company.
Yeah.
So we look at your interiors. We also build. We build. We work on basement. We do structures. Our new phase now is doing a full house structure. So I have teams. I work.
Oh, okay.
Teams in the sense that we picked ourselves from various and bring your expertise, and decide to make something out of it. But all of them under the umbrella of Asakaso.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, and you're also a gospel singer, right?
You know, sometimes
I will put a link to her YouTube channel so that you can go stream her songs. Yeah.
So, actually, this is what. Okay, I was told that I started singing as young as 6 years, but I actually know myself. I know I was singing when I was 10, and not only that, I wrote some songs for gospel artists. I won't mention their names because of privacy. I didn't discuss that previously with them. So I wrote songs for them, and I wrote soundtracks for later Makaiwe.
Wow, yeah.
So I wrote soundtracks, and at least I wrote 2 soundtracks for her. But what actually led me to doing songs for myself was 2 years ago.
Okay.
And you call me to a battle, you win and dust it all. You are.
2020, my brother was diagnosed with 2 types of deadly cancer. My elder brother, God rest his beautiful soul, he had gastrointestinal cancer and pancreatic cancer.
One person.
Those are deadly cancers. So I remember then when we had to move into Port Harcourt for surgery, I asked the doctors what are the chances. He told me 30%. I said, oh, that's a miracle for me. So 30 is the survival, 70 is that anything could go wrong. And I remember my brother told me then, before he went to the theater, can you sing those of your songs? I have over 200 and something songs that I've written.
So you're giving it to us bit by bit.
Yeah, that's why some people were like, in 1 year you already have an album. They didn't know that we were just taking our time. More is coming. Yeah. So my brother said I should sing him one song. Then I sang the song. And my brother said, don't ever give anybody a song. I said, okay, but I heard you. I will not. I just want him to go to the theater and come back. So he said when he was in the theater, he was singing the song. And the doctor said he was singing this song continuously until they were done. He didn't sleep until they were done with the surgery. He was awake, but you know they numb him. Yeah. He was awake throughout the surgery. So when my brother came out, the chances was that if he made it out, he wouldn't be able to pass forward. He wouldn't be able to do so many things. It's like he will just literally become a vegetable if he gets out of the surgery. And eventually he pulled through. When he came out, he said, promise me one thing. I said, brother, I promise you. But I didn't really promise him. Yeah. Not until 2 years later. My brother called me the very day he passed on. He spent so much time. He asked me to sing 2 songs for him. He said, you know, when you start producing this song, and this song was titled Decor, it says, once I wake up from the sleep and I hit my feet on the ground, I bow in adoration to God Almighty. Yeah. So my brother, I sang it, my brother, I could hear him cry. But I said, brother, I want to see you. He didn't want to turn on the video. I didn't know my brother was close to his death. So that was around our 1 a.m. By 1 a.m. Canadian time, by 12 noon Canadian time, my brother was gone. So he made me promise him that I will
release some songs.
Don't give to anybody, you can keep on releasing your song. And when he passed on, I said, that was the last promise I made to my brother. It's like, I have to keep it. And that was why I entered into
So gospel. Sorry for your loss.
It's okay. It's a lesson, and I kind of, it gave me an opportunity to realize when, during that very challenging period, just do as much as you can to love. You think you have everybody around. Little did I know that money that is what's going to end. And the kind of, you know, maybe I didn't mention to you that I have a non-for-profit organization in Nigeria.
No, you didn't.
It's called Olilanya. That was why during my 50th birthday, I didn't request for any gift to send it to the widows. So I have 50 widows I'm taking care of.
Really?
So it's challenging, knowing their lives, knowing what they go through. Already before my brother passed on, he lost his wife 2014. Okay. So now those children are now orphans. So that I feel the pain because I know I've been dealing with widows that pass on in the course of taking care of them and their children will lose a widow.
Yeah.
So what happened is that I kept it at 50 widows. So even if anything happened, we just look for. There are widows. I have over 200 widows on wait list.
Waiting for a space,
so that they can become part of Olilanya and the widows. But I can only work with the resources I have available. So that's it. When he passed on, I know the responsibility of the children now fell back on me because they are now orphans.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This one is emotional.
It's okay.
Oh my God, so sorry.
It's okay. And that's why I tell a lot of people, you know, on my YouTube channel, I tell people, try and take care of people around you. You know, what actually made me to start looking at widows now, although my husband and I have been doing it back home in Nigeria, but we do it through St. Vincent de Paul in the Catholic Church. It's a society in the Catholic Church. But when I came to Canada, I started this relationship channel where I felt I should talk to people.
You have a YouTube channel for relationship?
Yeah, for relationship. Coaching. That's why I said I'm someone with a lot of feather in my cap. Yeah. So I started talking to people about relationship. Why can't you make a marriage work? I look at the things that are making marriages not to work. Then I told a lady called me, sent me an email because I leave my email address each time I speak to people. She sent me an email. This is my phone number. I need to talk to you. I will do something so drastic. Yeah. I called her right away. I said, what's the problem? She said, I want to quit my marriage. I said, why?
Why?
He said, because my husband used to give us monthly allowance. He just stopped. I said, did you ask him why? He said, he has no reason. I said, okay. Did he just stop? He said he's not giving us up to what we're supposed to get at a month. I said, are you working? She said, yes, I'm a nurse. I said, why not make up for what is missing? She told me, no way. I allowed her to relax. I said, is your husband at home? She said, yes. Oh no, he's not at home right now. He went to work. I said, have you thought about those that their husband went on vacation, they will never come back? She said, why would someone go on vacation and will never come back? I said, their husbands are dead. If you drop a pin, you could hear it. She was just, the other side went mute. She called me back. She was crying. I never thought like that. I said, why not? Calm down, ask him why. So eventually when she did ask her husband said, a lot of people are being laid off. And we were asked, do we reduce your salaries to give you a job or do you want to go, we pay you something? And he chose to stay because there is no job out there. Yeah. So and that was when she said, oh no, he gave me what he had available. Yeah. So I think that was actually what gave birth to these 50 women.
Okay.
Taking care of these 50 women.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so if someone wants to reach out to you by Platinum Plus, what's the best way to get in touch with you, for training and coaching?
My email address is AMY underscore Okocha, OKOCHA, at platinumpcl.com. Okay. So I will send you the email, you can just add
and it's your direct email. So
that's my direct email. Okay. You just get straight to me. Or if it's going to be in terms of interiors, currently I just finished decorating my basement for Airbnb. So it's a journey, and I really love the what's happened at the end of the day, and I learned a lot. I've never done an Airbnb before, but doing it kind of really encouraged me. I will want to do more. Yeah. So if anyone wants to get hold of me, based on Asa Castle, that's Asa, ASA at asacastle.com.
Okay. So I'll leave a link to our website for Platinum Plus and Asa Castle. So once you click it, you will be able to see what she has done and get in touch with her. Yeah, is there any word of advice or anything you have to say to people who are looking to start up something for themselves in Canada?
I'm going to be very honest. Being a HR person, I did strategic leadership, operations and human resources. There is something we do that is painful to do it. especially when you go to organizations. Sometimes I'm hired to hire.
Yeah.
And hired
To
to
fire.
fire. You know, there was this day I told my husband that I have a meeting. I said, how did it go? I said, I'm going to be hired to fire.
Wow.
Said, how
To give the bad news.
how does that sound in your mouth? I told him, I don't like saying it. But you know, most of the time when organizations hired me to fire, I look at them and I ask them, is there any way we can reach a compromise?
Okay.
I need the ages of those who want to lay off. Because you know, sometimes I do tell organizations, be careful how you present that word. So you hear most companies will say, oh, we are restructuring our organization.
Yeah.
And some of them will say, oh, we are downsizing.
Yeah.
But not we are going to lay off.
Lay off,
Because if
yeah.
you tell me, one guy told me that when he was told that he was going to be laid off, that he thought of how is he going to cope outside there.
Yeah.
And somebody can actually fake to collapse at work. You've not fired the person.
Yeah,
And for the next 1 year, the person is still, you're still paying the person full salary. Because the case will go to court. Is workers' compensation benefits will kick in and the rest of them. So when you look at it, you ask yourself, how do I go to break this news to people? And most of the time, I tell organizations, can we have a very common ground? Can you reduce their salaries? Can you remove their bonuses? Can you remove a lot of benefits? Incentives so that we can keep them. Job is not out there. If you, Sonka recently fired over 2,000 people.
No way. Wow.
I'm not kidding you. They had new president CEO from Mobi, and he used a pattern that is also good though. Work for a lot of people. You know, most organizations hire, who do you know?
Yeah.
I'm hiring you because I know someone.
Yeah.
So somebody have to break that yoke, if I'm going to use that language, yoke. You're not going to be hired because you know someone. We're going to hire you because of your expertise. Bring it on the table. And that was why a lot of people really literally lost their job. So when I go to fire, it really hurts. And I ask them the question, what's your plan? And what I hear is, I have no plan. I will not. You know, sometimes you hear people, they say that don't take some certain job if you don't have the heart for it. When you listen to their stories, some of them are, I ran into a very young, sweet lady. She had just been diagnosed with cancer. And she's going to be fired. So that's just a ticket to go and die. So, but my advice, you asked for my advice, what do I advise? Have a plan B. That is why you see crazy me, you call me a serialpreneur. I do a lot of things. It's just a way of making sure that I will never lack. Like I created financial security for myself. And so people say, oh, why do you do that? Don't you have kids? I've had a lady say, oh, you're doing everything because you don't have kids. I said, do you really think I don't have kids?
Because they are kind of depending on their kids for their...
Yeah. I said, I didn't just get to where I am today. My kids were younger. She said, do you have kids? I said, oh, yes, I do. My oldest is going to be 25. My youngest is going to be 18. I have 4 kids. So that should tell you that I was working and growing with my children. If you know, some people like the white-collar job. They want to go to work. They can't do any other thing. And they realize that when they go to work, they don't get promotion. They don't move from point A to point B. They don't there's no elevation for them. And that's when I tell people, go back and ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? I'm going to tell you something. I have a client currently. Her boss told her to do something for the last 4 years. She never did it. She said, I like my job, but I don't want to quit. But I've not been promoted for the last 6 years. I said, no. But because when you go to student handbook, employee handbook, especially when the person is hired, in the contract, there is a particular year. Some organizations is 6 months, some organizations 8 months, some organizations 1 year. They will visit you and review you. So when you go for mid-year performance review, there are things your boss will advise you to do. And it's expected that by the time you get to the end of the year performance review, that you should have worked on it. So for 4 years, she did nothing. I told her, I need your performance review, the feedback, your mid-year performance review, and end of the year performance review. She sent all of them to me. And when I had a meeting with her, I said, if I were your boss, the second year I would have laid you off. Wow, she said, why? I said, you are not adding anything because their manpower is so low, that's why they kept you there. You are not adding anything. You are bringing nothing. That's why your boss is still tolerating. If there is any person that replaces you, you are out of the door. So that was when she had to go back to look at those things. Listen, when the boss said do this, the organization would have paid for the program. But now she had to pay $4,500 to go and get that program.
Out of pocket.
Out of pocket. So if you really want to, if you like the 5 to 9, do it and get more skills. Train yourself. You know, I like the Oprah quote. It said, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You have to be prepared. And when the opportunity comes, you jump on it. Aside having my MBA, I have a lot of certificates. Canadian Consultancy Association, I have a license with them. I'm a certified coach. When I was doing all those things, I didn't know it's going to pay off. A lot of certificates, but when I see anyone, I lay my hand on it because a day will come when I will need it. And honestly, they are paying off right now. Wow. So, and if you're the one that you're working and you feel you can do something with your hand, create it. Don't quit your job, because the mistake we make is the moment we're able to get maybe one contract that pays us for $5,000 and you want to quit your job because $4,500 is coming on. No, you don't quit. Stay there until you're able to pay yourself. Yeah. Not just paying your bills, paying your bills and putting yourself on a salary. If you cannot conveniently put yourself on a 1-year salary, then don't quit your job. Don't really quit, except health. You cannot work due to health reasons. Yeah. That also is acceptable to just take it. Life is more important than anything.
Oh, wow. It's a lot from you. We hope to invite you next time for more episodes on our invitation. We learned a lot. And if you want to reach out to her, I will leave her email address in the description box. Make sure to like and subscribe. Do have a great day. Bye.
Bye.